purposeful play. Actually, I have a speaker box right here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn his e-collar on so you can hear the speaker box and maybe explain a little bit about the e-collar in this video. But I wanted to go to purposeful play because my advice is that you pick up all your toys and put them away. And then I'm also asking you to try really hard to kind of keep him out of prey drive as much as you can. The thing is that Bear is actually a very high prey drive dog, so we need to fulfill him in some way, probably daily, so that we're not suppressing this need that he has to be in this state of mind, and actually giving it a focus, and then teaching him how to soothe himself in between. So this is kind of the main point of the purposeful play for me, is actually the self-soothing technique that I'm going to show you in this video. So the first thing is that I need him to be in his spot. So he's technically on his spot right now, and I'm going to wait for him to sit down on his own. So I can tell this dog to sit and down all day long, and sometimes I do, especially if I'm kind of like, hey, can we wrap this up, please? But actually, the longer I wait for him to do it on his own, the calmer he will become, and the more he'll be able to learn how to manage himself. So that's actually kind of a portion of the self-soothing technique. I haven't started the play yet, but just the process of him winding himself all the way down on place into a sit or a down all the way on his own is a huge, huge mental activity for Bear. To be told to sit and down is not nearly as effective, although, like I said, you can still do it. It's not that you can't do it, but maybe, if you have a lot of time and you have a lot of patience to wait. If you're, more in a hurry or something, or you've got something going on, then maybe you push it a little bit and ask him to do it. So now that he's in a really nice position, I'm going to invite him to come play. Bear, come get it. Get it. And I've tried different things with Bear, but he's kind of weird about playing. I don't know what he does for you guys at home. Get it. Tug or fetch, or there's some uniformity to what I'm doing, but with this guy I just kind of dink around because he doesn't seem, be able to hold his focus long enough to do an activity. So you guys might find that that's different for you. Hey Bear, get it, Bear, Bear, get it. Okay, Bear, play, spot. So someone opened the door, so Bear's not going to play anymore now. Not for a bit. Not until he investigates and sees that doesn't have anything to do with him. So again, I've tried different things with him. I've tried the flirt pole, which is where I kind of leave it. See, I'm blocking him from looking out the windows. I've tried throwing a ball, I've seen that interested in it. But this is all outside, so I chose to do this session inside because the reason why you won't do it outside is because the things he wants to fixate on actually become much more important for him. Quiet. Excuse me, this dog's really going through it. So I chose to be in here because there's less stimulus. So you might want to do this inside as well, whatever it is that you're playing, because it's so much easier to actually carry on with an activity like this. Stop. When he's not overstimulated by visuals and other things. But obviously be aware of your windows because he will try to look out them and fixate and prey drive. So right now he kind of played, but he kind of also got himself worked up. It's not a lot happened just now, Again, I'm having a really hard time getting engagement for very long. But I did get him pretty worked up and excited. So after I spend 30 seconds to a minute kind of playing with him and letting him get excited, then I put him back on his spot, and then I again wait for him to sit or lay down. So this is a self-soothing technique. This is something that I would definitely, do once a day with Bear. It sounds like you kind of already once a day go over to his toy bin and kind of encourage him to play with his toys. So I would set it up like this instead, so it's more formal. Because this self-soothing technique is going to teach him how to calm himself down. And there's nothing more beneficial than teaching a dog how to calm themselves down. So I actually do this with every single board and train that comes in here, some variation of it. Because most of the dogs that come to me have no capability of calming themselves down. They stay in a very aroused state their entire life. And we know this about Bear, right? That's definitely true to Bear. So the whole format of this is I did crates, I did doors, I took him outside, I pottied him, I brought him back in, I put him on spot. And then, the video started. So then I waited for him to settle down. Once he settles down, then I tell him to get it, which is his release, to come get the toy. I don't care how you play with him. You could play, play tug of war. You could just get on your hands and knees and actually play with him. You could, just kind of throw a toy around like I just did. I don't know if he likes to play fetch with you. If he does, let me know. I'll kind of show you. It's a similar format, but just a little bit different. You play for 30 or 60 seconds, and then you tell him to leave it, and then you send him back to his spot and have him self-soothe, and then you repeat. You always begin on a calm state and end on a calm state. You can do this for 15 minutes, and he should be good. He should be pretty tired. Okay, don't worry about it, bud. Alright, so now that he's really calmed down very quickly, and I haven't done this for very many days with him because like I said, I've kind of struggled with engagement with this guy. I wonder if tug rope, he would like a tug rope more. I've just tried all these different things and he's just breathing escalating and water. Get it! Get it! Yeah, good boy, Bear. Big spot. Good job, buddy. Good job. So that was a bit better engagement. I guess he liked that squeaky toy yesterday when I played with him, but I guess he got over it. Now he's on the road. Spot. We'll stick with this because we'll do one more of these because he liked the rope so much. He's got the water on this. Alright, so let's talk about the e-collar while we're waiting for him to mellow. Got the format of the play. I don't really care too much about how you play with it as long as you're kind of getting him worked up and excited and he's kind of having a blast. Right? Now, all my commands are layered with my e-collar. So when I say spot, the e-collar turns on at the same time. He's responding really, really well. Yesterday, leave it. Bear, leave it. Yesterday he wasn't responding as well, and I had to hold the e-collar button down until he started to get onto his placeboard. So he was a little bit more resistant yesterday. So the e-collar and the word are layered, but at the same time, I'm not going to turn the e-collar off until I get a commitment to the behavior. Not a follow-through of the behavior, a commitment. So if I see him heading over to his spot, I'll let him get on. If he decides not to get on, the e-collar is going to turn on again, until and I'm going to repeat. And if he gets on, then I know he followed through. So if I said down right now, I would, you're a good boy. You are such a good boy. I would hold the e-collar down at the same time, and then I would wait until I saw that his momentum was headed into a down, and then I would turn it off. Same with the sit. So without, which means out means drop it from your mouth, which you say drop it, so I think you guys can just say drop it or even just leave it, and it'll translate for him. They kind of sound the same, but the e-collar will layer until he removes it from his mouth. I use leave it a lot for fixating on things. So if he starts to look out my window right now, I'm going to say leave it, but I'm going to hold the e-collar on until I can actually see him leave it. So the eyes actually remove themselves from the window, and preferably he goes into pack drive. That's the goal, right? So that's how I use my e-collar. Is I turn it on with the command, but I don't turn it off until I get the dog's commitment. And I don't repeat commands a lot. I might leave it. I might a little bit here and there. But for the most part, especially once the dog really knows what I'm saying, I'll just tell him, and then I'll go hold the e-collar button down until I get the follow through. And I give them some space and some time to kind of register what it is that I'm asking of them. And if there's any confusion, I'll repeat it. Sometimes if there's a lot of resistance, I'll repeat it. But for the most part, I kind of try to let the dog problem solve and think about it and follow through on their own. Alright, so so that's his anticipation, right? I got up because he's like, oh cool, like she's gonna play with me again. But he's aroused right now. His tail's wagging, he's in prey drive. And so I'm not actually going to follow through now with the play. I'm gonna wait for him to calm himself back down. I don't want him to anticipate things. Job, buddy. Not the best down. Still pretty aroused. So the other thing about my e-collar that you're definitely going to have to know about Bear, I'm going to try to make an off-leash video today. I haven't had him off-leash yet, so I don't know how well this is going to go. No, I'm going to do it in my fenced yard. I'm not going to do it, out front or anything, but is that I turn the e-collar on with the command. The e-collar doesn't turn off until I get the commitment. I always make sure there's a follow-through, but sometimes the dog's intensity is a lot higher than the number that's on the screen. So that TENS unit has to go up to match the intensity of his brain. So if I say Bear calm and he doesn't listen to the e-collar, and let's say I hold it for like 3 seconds, I'm going to go I'm going to show you the buttons tomorrow, but black S, hold for a few seconds. If I don't get a response, I will go to my red S, which is a boost of 5, and I will hold that for a little bit, and then if I don't get that, I'll stay on my boost and I'll turn the e-collar up until I get a response from Bear. We're going to go over this in length tomorrow. So, that's, kind of the ins and outs. It's like you layer it with the command, you hold it till you get the commitment, you go up until you get the commitment. Spot. What else was I going to say? Oh, with Bear, I do a combination of things. This could get confusing for you, but with time, hopefully you'll be able to implement it. I'll do a little bit of e-collar holding, where I actually hold the button down as like just constant. And then sometimes I'll do a cadence, which you heard just a minute ago when I told him to leave it. It was like a beep, 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 beep. Bear's intensity is super high that sometimes I feel like breaking up the touch. So it's more like a beep, touch, instead of a hold, touch. intermittent touch catches his attention more than just holding that touch down. So I kind of mix it up. Like sometimes I'll do like cadence, like beep, 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 and I'll just mix it up because I'm just trying to capture his attention. Leave it. So you can see why this is a pretty important activity for him because, you know, for a dog that's his age to constantly rearing to go, you know, oh, let's go, oh, look at and anticipating everything is not typical for a dog this age, but also just not a very good state of mind to live in. So making his brain work through this and realize the only way to resolve his desire to play is by calming down is a really huge process for Bear, and it translates into the real world. That's what I love about this activity more than anything, is that it actually translates into the real world. So eventually they start to learn how to self-soothe. They don't particularly like to feel over-aroused. It's not like if dogs like really learn to understand how to feel calm, they will choose it over arousal, and they don't particularly like to be over-aroused. So you'll see that this technique actually translates into the real world where he'll start to want to, and my hope is, I don't know, it's hard to say with an 11-year-old dog, but my hope is that he will desire feeling calmer and not wanting to be aroused anymore, or at least over-aroused. Get it! So I rewarded that because he was doing pretty well. Hey, this one. Nope. Bear. Oh, he wants the other one. Bear. Bear, 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 bear. Bear, bear, bear. Get it. Get it. Bear. Get it. Hey. Get it. Good. Good job, buddy. All right, place or spot. Sorry. And that's gonna be the last one we're gonna do. I'm gonna go get lunch after this. But I'm gonna wait until I, really feel a stronger sense of calm from him before I crate him up. And I usually use a chair while I wait because I'm a tired, old, haggard woman who gets way too much exercise. So I'm always looking for an opportunity to sit down. Good job, buddy. One of the reasons why I like the place board for this activity is because there's a dip in the place board that makes the cover of it kind of dip down and hang, and that feeling really creates calm in dogs. When they get on it, they kind of sink into it. It kind of creates this calm mentality. So using a place board during this activity will help more than just like a mat, because it's going to really kind of bring that self-soothing process out even more. So I've got one more video I want to make for you so that you guys can watch it and re-watch it as just to really kind of advance you with the e-collar faster. We'll see how he does. But I wish I could keep him longer because he's actually a very challenging dog, but I'm sure you guys are ready to have your dog back, and hopefully this will translate home. Crossing my fingers.